This is Radio Now 95.3 FM. Come for the news, stay for informed conversations.
6 people have been killed by suspected ISWAP terrorists in Pulka, Gwoza local government area of Borno State. The incident occurred while the villagers of Pulka were out gathering firewood over the weekend. Joining the conversation this morning is Jesse Atta, Risk Operations and Intelligence Coordinator at Beacon Consulting. Mr. Atta, thank you for joining us on the conversation.
Good morning.
When you consider the steady numbers of deaths in Borno, what are your initial instincts on our military operations in the region?
Thank you again for having me. Sure. The unfortunate incident in Borno happens to be one of those unfortunate issues that continue to form part of the criticism around the relocation of IDPs back to their original location of origin without effective community resilience mechanisms across parts of Borno. Gwoza, for example, has been one of the hard-hit LGAs southeast of Borno, which borders the Cameroonian Mandara Mountain that happen to have a cluster of insurgent groups really operating in that environment. The killing of 6 persons by ISWAP forms part of ISWAP's broader strategy in, of course, infusing fear in communities and particularly eliminating possible government collaborators in those particular environments. So in the case where the Borno state government continues to push back IDPs to their original locations of origin without effective security measures to protect them, we continue to expose them to this kind of attacks and, of course, possible recruitment or indoctrination of local communities into insurgent groups generally.
So, Mr. Atta, you talked about essentially the resettlement efforts back to their ancestral homes. Is interesting because if you look at Gwoza independently, this is a location that's also sort of historical to Boko Haram itself. It matters. And ISWAP being a breakaway from Boko Haram, it can be argued that Gwoza is important to the group just as well. Speak to us about how their reclamation, I'm careful, I don't want to use the word reclamation, it might be the wrong way to approach it, but maybe their renewed interest and again, successes might also not be the right word to use here, but their renewed interest in those areas. What does it say about the resurgence of these groups, perhaps around how they're able to re-strategize and regroup?
All right, and I like the fact that you initially differentiated between ISWAP and Boko Haram, which is also known as JAS. So the Mandara Mountain in Cameroon happens to be an advantageous environment for Boko Haram JAS, and to see such attacks by ISWAP in such environment points to potential push for control of those particular environments, gaining new territory. And this forms part of, intergroup clashes that we've seen over time between ISWAP and the former group JAS. Aside from that, there's been intelligence and information on ground on of a push from the Middle East, particularly ISIS core, to really fund ISWAP in really blustering its operations in Africa generally. As we know, ISIS, for example, has various allies spread across Africa. And in terms of operational capacity,
Mr.
ISWAP have so far.
My apologies for interrupting you. Do we need more specialized units in response to this particular threat in this area?
Yes, I would say so. And of course, up to now again, like I was trying to mention, there's increased funding of ISWAP by ISIS, and particularly since it's seen as one of the most active core of ISIS in Africa. And with increased funding means carrying out attacks and, of course, undermining government authority in this particular environment. Hence, like a question rightly asked, yes, we do need a different approach in dealing with an evolving nature of insurgency. We have insurgents utilizing drones and other capabilities to monitor troop movement, hence their ability to strategically weaken our forward operating bases and other strategic points in Borno. Our trench in most parts of Borno are old and have been overrun by a lot of these insurgents. So yes, definitely, we need specialized intervention that addresses the evolving nature of this group in the state.
Mr. Atta, thank you very much for your time and your expertise on this conversation. Jesse Atta is Risk Operations and Intelligence Coordinator at Beacon Consulting. He joined us this morning to speak on the reported activity of ISWAP terrorists in Gwoza, local government area of Borno State, where they have killed 6 people. You're still listening to Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos. We urge you to stay tuned. In a few short moments, we'll be turning to News Extra right here on Now Breakfast.
This is Radio Now 95.3 FM. Come for the news, stay for informed conversations.